What's happening everybody, King GBL here, and welcome back to a brand new Go Battle video. Today I'm going to be showcasing Lorantis here in the single type cup. Lorantis is quite an interesting pick. It does really well against Umbreon. Of course it has really great coverage with the grass type move, Leaf Blade, one of the best moves in the game, and Super Power, which can just hit like an absolute truck on pretty much anything except for like poison types. But you're going to see later on in the video, even against things like Shadow Muck, Super Power still does a ton of damage, and this Pokemon, even against its worst counters, can have a lot of play and is really fun to use. It is super spammy, hits like a truck, and overall I really enjoyed using this Pokemon. Welcome to the video everybody, hit that like button if you haven't already, it very much helps out the channel, and subscribe, and thank you very much everybody for all the birthday wishes yesterday. I turned 31 yesterday, big shout out to you guys man, I really appreciate all of the well wishes and everything. And in today's video we're going to go through a little bit of the new update as well. The new update has just dropped in New Zealand, Australia and Asia. So I'll let you guys know a few things about that, and we actually have a few updates here this weekend for Go Battle Weekend. For this weekend's Go Battle Weekend, on the Premium Pass, you will actually get a guaranteed rare XL candy if you get 2 wins, and you'll get a normal rare candy if you just play the normal sets, like, you know, for the free pass or whatever. So really good update, and actually following Go Battle Weekend, you will now be able to get XL rare candies from the second item in the rewards, just for normally playing Go Battle League. So that's huge. If we're able to get like an extra like rare candy or 2 a day, or like if we were able to get, you know, even like 10 or 15 a week, that would be really like huge for building legendary Pokemon. Rare XL candy is a little bit sort of hard to come by, so it is nice that they're making steps to make it easier for us to get. It does concern me that they're looking to probably increase the level cap at some point, so they're making it more accessible so that we can get up to that point, and then they can say, oh well, we've made everything so easy to get now that, you know, we'll just increase the cap and we'll have Mega XL Pokemon or some shit like that. So that's what I'm sort of concerned about, but for the time being it is really good. It's a huge improvement to the game. We actually have 20 sets per day for 2 days over Go Battle Weekend, so I recommend playing it. The one unfortunate thing, like, I'm sorry if you guys really like this cup and I'm just like, you know, the odd one out here, but I think this cup is just so RPS. Like the matches I win tend to be like matches where I RPS, and the matches I lose where it's just RPS as well. So you're seeing this team here with like Politoed, Lurantis and Registeel. The thinking behind this team here basically is use Registeel safe swap, draw out a Ninetales, bring back in Politoed, and look to sweep with Lurantis. So that's generally the thinking behind this team. But I find like a lot of the matches I win, I get like a poison lead, which is great for my Mudshot and Earthquake. And a lot of the matches I lose tends to be like just an awkward lead, like an Umbreon or whatever. Or if I'm using like, let's say like one of the more harder counter Pokemon, like let's say I'm using Cofagrigus, like I'll win matches where I'm up against maybe other Cofagriguses or a Pokemon that are, you know, pretty weak to Cofa, but then you get an Umbreon, like you swap into like your Clefable and they come out with a poison type, and then you've got a Registeel in the back, but they have a Machamp, like, you know how it goes guys. I just think this cup is pretty RPS. I do really want to like it. I love the idea of this cup, I really do. It's just super RPS, and unfortunately that's what we'll be playing this weekend. Do let me know if you're going to be playing Master Premier or this cup. Again, it's one of those ones where like I've had some fun in this cup, but I just can't really find any consistency. So do let me know in the comments down below if you've had a team that's really consistent for you. This team actually done pretty well for me. I managed to go, I think, 9 out of 15 wins, like 9 out of 15, so pretty good percentage there. And this Pokemon, look at this thing go. We're just spamming out these Leaf Blades. It takes 9 turns to get to this Leaf Blade, and it hits super hard. As you see, we're doing super effective on the Hypno as well. The Hypno's not even getting off a move. This Lorantis is just sweeping this entire team. It's such a fun Pokemon to use, guys. I really highly recommend it. Don't use it with Leafage, definitely use it with Fury Cutter. I think there will be some limited metas where Leafage will be better. This is not one of them. Definitely Fury Cutter is really good. Now, here we have a Granbull lead. What I normally like to do here is, see, you get to these moves so quickly on Politoed. So like we're throwing in good timing, just insta-throwing the move. You get to these in 4 every time. Politoed is pretty good. I think what I maybe look to do here is try to get both shields off the opponent. I'm getting a little bit greedy. I probably should have swapped into Reggie at this point. We do get the move through, and we're going to come into Reggie. Now, the opponent, I think it takes them like 9 or 10 charms to get to the close combat. They are at it here, and in comes Ninetales. So that's basically the thinking behind this team. Try to draw out the Ninetales, and Registeel can like force a shield or force a ton of damage. The opponent realizes it, they get the attack drop, and this is where Reggie's just amazing. We're going to let any move go, we're up a shield. That's the disadvantage of using shit Pokemon like Granbull. I think I might shield this here to try and get the... Oh no, I actually do let this go. I think I would prefer shielding this, yeah, because we get farmed down as well. So can we get to enough moves in time? One Weather Ball does not quite take out, and once again we can just fire the move instantly on good timing, which is just so easy. But as you can see, like, this is getting kind of tight. The opponent is catching Granbull here, so like I'm okay with this, to be fair. I want to get rid of this thing anyway. The opponent will most likely come in with whatever their next Pokemon is, but here's the thing, they're going to get locked in, it's Licky Tongue. So this is a little bit awkward. If I go for Superpower, it basically means that I'm super debuffed, and yeah, it's going to be rough. And you can see these Body Slams are already adding up, so I'm trying to farm up as much energy as possible before firing off a move. But this is just a little bit awkward. I may have just misplayed this match. I go for another, see, I didn't want to get farmed down by the Ninetales, so I was trying to come out of here with energy, that was the problem. So we're going to shield this up most likely, of course we don't want to get taken out, and I think at this point the timer's up and yeah, they come in and snipe us. Probably could have played that a little bit better somehow, but yeah, that's just how it goes sometimes. We're not going to be able to get to enough moves, and good games well played by the opponent there. So yeah, just have to say hats off to the opponent. I think I misplayed it there for sure. We get a very positive lead, in comes Umbreon, and what I like to do is come into Reggie on this. It's a very positive matchup for Lorantis, but I think with Registeel, it's just a really good safe swap in terms of like, whenever you take Switch with it, you're able to get off a Zap Cannon or you're able to get off a Focus Blast, whereas if I came in with Lurantis, it is more on the glassy side. I go for Zap Cannons here because it takes 2 moves to go out, to take them out anyway, and I want to try and debuff them. But yeah, if you come in with Lurantis and get farmed down, it's kind of rough, and like, you could maybe get to a Superpower, which is pretty threatening on the thing, but I do prefer the bulk of Reggie for this type of scenario. So we'll farm up to 100 energy here. Honestly, I think just going straight Focus Blast is better here. I probably could have taken one less move. I do like going for Zap Cannon debuffs, and if it doesn't pay off, it kind of sucks. In comes Ninetales. Can we get to the move in time? We just about do. These insane IVs are coming into play once again with this Reggie. Boom, Focus Blast coming through, and the opponent's going to farm us down. In comes Politoed. We're going to like to get this move off immediately. The opponent fires the move first. Now, I think I respect an Overheat, because even though resisted, Overheats are no joke. Now, I make a mistake here. I go for the Earthquake on this thing. Like, if you guys have ever played this Pokemon, this thing shields up anything, bro. This thing will shield up muddy water if you throw it at it, like, so that was a stupid mistake. Now, I didn't want to swap out, leaving myself loaded. I banged a Weather Ball, and the opponent's going to fire off another move. I think I should have went for the bait there. It was such a good bait opportunity because a Weather Ball would get them into like 50% health anyway. And you're going to see here, we're going to overfarm as much as possible, try to look to get off 2 moves on this thing, and look to get off a move on the remaining Pokemon that comes back in. We're going to fire off this Leaf Blade, and you're going to see like this does a lot of damage. I probably should have been just going for Weather Balls on that thing. Maybe like fire off a Weather Ball bait, and then go for another one. We're on super low health, in comes Ninetales. They've got a shield. I need to get to 2 moves. We're going to throw after 1 here for good timing. And can we just about get to this move in time, folks? Can we get to it? We don't. They just beat us there by 1 turn, and, you know, again, I think I just slightly misplayed this matchup right here. You know, even though like sometimes I do get super RPS, I think this is just a good example. A lot of people says like, oh, I just, you know, lead and lose game. I actually won lead and lost game, you know, so it's not always that straightforward. The opponent played well, and they were able to like overcome a pretty difficult match. Acid Spray, pretty annoying. I was expecting that to be a Thunder Punch, which of course would do a decent amount of damage to this Politoed. Politoed has decent enough bulk. We're going to look to fire off the Earthquake, and the opponent catches it in Vigoroth. So at this point, I'm like, this is a little bit awkward, but we're going to come in with Lorantis here. I'm going to look to basically fire the move off straight away. Even though they swapped in, we're outpacing to this, and this one Leaf Blade will take them out. Boom. Good night, good night, and we're going to see the damage here in Muck. I'm going to go straight for the Superpower, because it's going to give them less farm. I think the opponent actually CMP'd us here on the Acid Spray. Boom. That done a lot of damage. Considering that's a resisted Superpower, that done a lot of damage. In all fairness, like, these poison types are super glassy in comparison to a lot of things. Now, I come in here because I don't want to eat a Thunder Punch on Politoed. And you guys know me, I love a good farm down. With Registeel, the opponent is going to be in a rough position here once I complete this farm down. And I think what I might even consider doing, yeah, shield up with Dark Pulse. It ends up being the Thunder Punch. So they're running Acid Spray Thunder Punch, which is a bit of a stupid moveset if you ask me, to be honest with you. So what I'm trying to do here is get this into Focus Blast range. I know the opponent doesn't have that much energy in Muck. It has a little bit of residual energy, and the opponent is up a shield here. I want to get this into a point where I can just go for double Focus Blast, and look to take it out. The opponent does end up CMPing us on that move, and that's perfect. We're getting this super, super low. No matter what, like, I was going to have to throw multiple moves on the thing anyway, so that's perfectly fine. Focus Blast coming through, the opponent shields it up. Now I'm anticipating the catch here, and the opponent will have to get to a lot of moves to take out Reggie. So there's Last Resort coming through. So I'm currently in Last Resort the Registeel Elo, if you guys are wondering. But Muck's going to come in, we're going to try and farm it down, or like get up to 100 energy. I waited a turn, but ended up throwing it anyway, which is kind of annoying. At this point though, you're going to see how thick Reggie is. Even though they caught the move, we're still going to get to a Focus Blast in time, and this one Foul Play will not take us out. So just hopping into the update a little bit, I think it's quite a good update and quite a fun one to play. Of course, they took away the wild spawns from the larger radius, but you do still get your wild spawns that you walked past and you didn't catch. So you still get like a larger radius for that, which is quite good. We also had an interview yesterday with Michael Starenka. It was Caleb Peng and Speedy who was interviewing him. It was a really good interview. I actually might leave it in the description down below. I highly recommend checking out that video. He went over a bunch of stuff to do with like the future of PvP, and a lot of the stuff he said was a little bit discouraging for the PvP community in terms of PvP not really being their main priority at the moment. They're more focused on the overall game itself and bringing more features into the game, which of course is always a good thing in my book. And let me know in the comments, guys, if you got yourself a Turtonator yet. If you're still looking for it, it's in raids and research. The research that you need to look for is win free raids and you will get an encounter with a potentially shiny Turtonator. It's not very good for PvP. It knows, I think, Fire Spin, Dragon Pulse, and some other pretty high energy cost move. I think at this point Fire Spin definitely needs a buff. I think if Fire Spin got buffed, we would see a lot more play for things like Delphox, which recently had the community day. Ninetales, Kanto Ninetales would be a lot better with maybe more energy. Being able to get to the Weather Balls faster would be good. But I think with this Pokemon, they're just kind of releasing it. It's a bit of hype, new shiny, new Pokemon, and then what they may look to do is buff it down the line. We're waiting for a lot of Pokemon like this, a lot of Community Day Pokemon, such as Noivern. I'm not sure what the point in that Pokemon was with the Air Slash, so we'll basically just have to wait and see for that one. Hopping back into the gameplay here, we're trying to get off another move on this thing. We'll see how much this Leaf Tornado does. It is a Frenzy Plant, it almost takes me out. Can I get to the move? The opponent goes for a catch and I almost fell for it because I was forced to throw, and in comes Umbreon. So we're going to fire off this Focus Blast, and what I basically need to do is come out of here with multiple moves on this thing so that the Superior will not be able to pretty much one-shot me. So that's kind of the plan. I think they're like a couple of moves off. You're seeing that these Weather Balls do add up, so what I need to do is just go for a big overfarm. I can't let them get me too low because I'll be in farm down range, so I think I maybe look to eat another foul play. I like to try and CMP the opponent or do something along those lines to try and come out here with at least one Weather Ball. I probably could try to come into the Earthquake, but I think the opponent's pretty close to the move. I go straight for this just in case they were at the move. And yeah, this is looking really tough. Can we get to this Weather Ball in time? I don't think I'm going to be able to get to it, so I'm going to have to catch and Registeel. The opponent's going to fire off a Frenzy Plant on the Registeel. It's a Leaf Tornado, in fact. And we're going to go ahead and fire off this move, which will be enough to take them out. A very, very rough lead right there. And again, it goes back to that point earlier, where it's like I get a Ninetales lead, lose the game. I get a Grass lead on my Water type, I win the game. You know, losing lead does not always mean losing game. And I think that's a mentality shift that a lot of people need to make. I see a lot of talk in my comments these days because I've talked about the algorithm. You know, you have to have that mentality that even if you do get a bad matchup, you still can win it. It's, you know, you're not always going to, but you still can. Some games you can't win, right? Like, you know, if I get a Politoed lead and, you know, I swap into Registeel and they come in with Ninetales, and then I come back in with my thing and they come in with, you know, an electric type, like, you know, sometimes you just don't win, but it just, you know, committing to your loss immediately is just not really going to help you out. So I always recommend trying to play the matches out, because you can make a catch, you can do something. The game's not always that straightforward, and you've experienced it and I've experienced it. You get a good lead, but then they've got two Pokemon in the back that are rough for you to deal with. You just play out every match and try your best to win it, even against you know, difficult circumstances. But what I decided to do in this match is try to swap out to Reggie and just draw out whatever they have in the back, draw out any potential Ninetales and stuff. Even though it's a pretty positive lead, I feel like, you know, my whole team can deal with Arbok. It's pretty glassy, it's on Dragon Tail. It does know some sort of like, there's Acid Spray, yeah. Like, it does know some poison moves, but like Lorantis can deal with it to some extent, Reggie can deal with it, Politoed can deal with it. So I'm thinking like, okay, I'm not going to commit to this match, just in case they've got a Ninetales in the back. They do finally come in with Grimer here, and we're going to look to spam off Weather Balls in this thing. This is what this Pokemon's really good for, Politoed. It's good for spamming off Weather Balls, and it's good against these poison types. I'm going to shield up this first one. It may have just been a Mud Bomb. I thought that they were up to the Sludge, but yeah, I just decided to respect it, get off the damage on this thing, because my other two Pokemon are very low. And you're seeing like this Lorantis with the damage is just ripping through this thing, and at this point the opponent full sends the big move, and I know that I can definitely outpace with the Registeel. So good games, very well played, and yeah, let's keep on, let's hop into the next one here. I'm going to try to get a Turtonator video out, but it might be a little bit difficult to get out today because people are saying it's bugged out and not appearing in raids and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, the research is kind of rough. I've used all my XL candies on, or not my rare candy, should I say, on Stinky Binky, aka Carbink, aka Baby Yoda, Let me know if you guys are getting the pay to win Pokemon. We've got the Great League coming back in 2 weeks, and you guys are going to see the pay to win Pokemon there. So yeah, we've drawn out the Machamp. This team is like a bit of a stupid team. It's kind of weird. It's kind of like just 2 answers to Umbreon in the back. But you know, this Pokemon is just sort of spammy. It's just a generalist, a Politoed. So it's not really like a typical ABB style team where like your lead is weak to whatever your 2 back Pokemon are strong to. It's a little bit different. But in comes Hypno, and we're going to come in with Lorantis. Lorantis is very good into Hypno, but this thing can no Fire Punch, and it is the recommended move. They go straight for the Shadow Ball, so I'm like, okay, this is perfect. We're basically, we've got the opponent dry on energy, and I am just a spam machine. Look at this, boom, coming through, and we're going to get off another move on CMP. The opponent's not going to be happy about this, and this of course will KO. The opponent is saving a shield for whatever is in the back, and we're going to see what they come in with. The opponent's waiting down the timer, making sure they can swap out, and it's bloody Granbull. Bro, this is like what most of my losses are like. This is literally like most of my losses. It's either like just terrible alignment the whole way through, or just some nonsense in the back, like Granbull. Like, who uses that Pokemon? That Pokemon is so one-dimensional, I cannot stand it. I've tried using it for memes and for a video. It's just terrible, folks. It really is just a terrible Pokemon. It's like, you either just hard win or hard lose. I don't really like understand the incentive to play like that, because if you're just hard winning or hard losing, you're just leaving it to a coin toss. It kind of, you know what I was talking about before, where you play the matches out because you can like try to manage energy, or you can do something to try and overcome the bad matchups. There's no such thing with Granbull. It's like you either win or lose. It's just a coin toss Pokemon, which it's just annoying to deal with. Like, that's why I'm not a huge fan of this cup overall. Again, I love the idea of it, but you know, just in practice, it's just kind of annoying when stuff like that happens. It's actually such a good Pokemon. It has a lot of great coverage in this meta. Is this Pokemon XL? I believe it is an XL Pokemon if I'm not mistaken. I do really like this one though. Unfortunately, I don't have it built, and I probably won't build it for, you know, just a cup like this. I did build a mock, which is good enough for me. But the Grimer with the moveset, it's just really nice, I think. The opponent's going to take me out here, and I think what I'm going to look to do is commit to a farm down, or try to get some energy ahead here with Politoed. I realize the opponent's going to get to a move. I'm not really trying to eat one, and we're going to try and take this out. The opponent's shielding up here, so I'm like, right, okay buddy, you want to shield this up? Can I commit to a farm down? I think I'm going to put this all on the back of Lorantis, because they do have an Umbreon, and yeah, this is going to be a good game, very well played. What I'm going to look to do is get them into the deep yellow with these Leaf Blades and Fury Cutters. You can see these Fury Cutters just tearing through this Umbreon. Big bulky Umbreon. Fury Cutters are just destroying it. They're on Psychic. They're running some sort of a coverage move for Poison, and I'm going to shield up this next one. So I'm leaving it to the last second before throwing the move, just to make sure that I can get off 2 moves, one for this and one for Grimer. Grimer is super low, and we would win CMP if they had a move, so I just wanted to make sure this was as clean as possible. This Leaf Blade's going to come through, take them out, they're on like 5 health or something, not even, and that's a good game well played. So yeah, definitely enjoyed this team. We get another really good lead. Donphan is this Mud Slap, so again, we're throwing in good timing on by accident, to be fair. Like, I didn't realize it was on Mud Slap until probably about this point. We're just throwing the moves instantly. This will be a Body Slam, and as you guys know, this thing hits like a truck. Politoed has got some pretty decent bulk, and you know, it'd be amazing if this thing did get a buff in the future again. We're going to fire for this move, see if the opponent wants to go down 2 shields. I'm basically spamming moves until this thing shields up, and then, you know, Lurantis can sweep Donphan, and we'll see what else is in the back. So, like, as you're seeing, like, this Pokemon's just crap. Whenever it's getting this alignment, it's just crap. Is this a double fairy team? Like, the opponent's experiencing the very negative downside of using this Pokemon. We're going to farm up to 100 energy, go for the Focus Blast, which probably, you know, even if they weren't debuffed, would take them out. Boom, good night. And at this point, Donphan can come back in, but we're going to get off a move on this thing. They can only get to maybe a Body Slam at the worst, and you're going to see that this thing is so glassy. One Focus Blast is going to take it out from about 80% health. In comes a Ninetales, and I'm not too happy about this, folks, because here's the thing. This thing is going to be able to farm me the whole way down, but not before I get off a Focus Blast. Ladies and gents, we go for the aggro swap. We don't want them to get too far ahead in energy. The opponent's going to fire off a move. Now this is going to depend on what move they throw. Is it Overheat? No, it is the Weather Ball. Does not take us out. And ladies and gents, Lorantis here is going to go for the Superpower. And Lorantis is a Ninetales counter confirmed. Love to see it. If the opponent had went for an Overheat, they would have been in such a bad position with no energy and a Politoed that's super spammy, which would have been able to one-shot it. Now, I don't even know if this is a good matchup for it or not, but I do know that it's not a great matchup for Reggie. So I'm sort of inclined to stay in here for a while and like to spam off multiple moves. I think I might respect this because this thing only throws nukes basically. They throw the Dark Pulse, so I know that they're going to get to it quite soon. I'm going to look to try and CMP them here. The opponent probably is not expecting the Earthquake, because we're getting to these moves so quickly, and it was only a few seconds ago that I was throwing off a Weather Ball, so the opponent probably did not expect that. Now what I decided to do is try and catch a move on this here. We do end up receiving a move, which is perfect. We're getting the energy of the opponent, and they come in with a Granbull. Once again, this is what you get. This is what you get. The opponent is getting what they deserve for using this Pokemon, and you know, let me tell you something, folks. Whenever I used this Pokemon myself, I was getting what I deserved, which is just getting RPS, you know? So like, guys, if you're using this Pokemon and you're not having a lot of success, I call the bait here as well, because I know the opponent won't want to debuff themselves and put them in a position where like any move will take them out or they can get farmed down. We get a double debuff on this thing, which is amazing, and at this point, in comes Politoed. We're just going to fire this move off straight away. I thought the opponent might have been getting very close to a move. That doesn't quite take out, so we're going to fire this one off straight away as well. We're just getting rid of this thing. We don't mess around with Granbull, and back in comes this boyo to Umbreon. At this point, the opponent should be top lefting, but we're going to see how we finish out this match. We're going to look to eat a Psychic here. We can live any one move, of course, and we're going to fire off, yeah, we're just going to go for back-to-back superpowers this time. I want to see how much damage this does from this amount of health. Yeah, so the opponent's on about 70% health, and that gets him deep into the yellow. So these superpowers, the first one definitely does close to about 50%, so that's a rough sort of margin for you to kind of understand like where you can take them out, or where you need to go for Leaf Blade. I probably should look it up on PvPoke and tell you, but you know, that's just not how we do it around here. We just assume things around here. It's IV dependent, guys, it's IV dependent. I'm not going to give you any misinformation here. But Earthquake coming through, I'm wondering if the opponent will respect it, because typically like Politoads love to go for this Weather Ball, and we go straight for the move. Now we've got two really good answers to this thing, and I'm thinking, oh, this thing probably has Fire Punch, doesn't it? Or Ice Punch. So I'm going to respect this move, and I'm going to look to overfarm a little bit more. In comes a Haxorus. I'm going to go for a Leaf Blade first, and then probably go for a Superpower. Leaf Blade coming through, the opponent respects it, and the opponent probably thinks this is just another Leaf Blade. Can we live one move to get the Superpower off? Night Slash coming through, love to see it. And if the opponent lets us go, this is going to absolutely rip through the Haxorus. They probably think they can live it, but they can live it, but it's not very comfortable to say the least. We're going to go for the farm time of Politoed and just swap straight out. And oh, look who it is, it's Granbull. Oh, it's almost as if I'm playing at a low elo and people are just trying to spam their way through matches. But yeah, you know what's going to happen here. Boom, Focus Blast, we get the attack drop. Sorry, Zap Cannon, get the attack drop. Go for it, hit me with the move. You can close combat me if you want. The opponent doesn't want to, they don't want to defend. In comes Hypno, we're going to Focus Blast the Hypno. Cannot speak today. I just take so much satisfaction out of just shitting on these Granbulls with Registeel. Will the opponent get to a move in time? They do farm us the whole way down, so that's a little bit rough. Can we get to the Earthquake in time? We just about do, and that's going to take that match. Guys, try out these Pokemon. Politoed, super spammy. Lorantis is definitely the star of this team. It can just sweep like Umbreon, Cofagrigus teams. It can do some damage against the hard counter poisons. Even against Ninetales, if you land a superpower, does a ton of damage. It's a really versatile Pokemon and a lot of fun to use. We get ourselves a Meditite to trade for the Medicham rank 1 that I'm building. But thank you very much, everybody. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you all next time for a brand new video.